ארצות בבל, שם ישבנו גם בכינו בזוכרנו את ציון.
Welcome to our few minutes together on the Parsha. This week we're having the privilege of reading Parshas Balak. Unfortunately, in addition to Shabbos, it is actually the 17th day in the month of Tammuz, which is a fast day. But of course, because it's still considered a minor fast day, it is postponed until Sunday. Even Tisha B'Av in 3 weeks is not as powerful as the Tzom of Yom Kippur, but actually the Tzom of Yom Kippur is a different nature, as we hope to speak about at that time. The fasts of Tisha B'Av and Shivas B'Tammuz are morning fasts, while the Tzom of Yom Kippur is not a morning fast. It's not a tainus. It's a tzom for tshuva. But let's go back to Shiva Asa B'Tammuz. 17th of Tammuz, of course, commemorates the beginning of the breach in the walls that led to the 3-week later burning and destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. It's a awesome time for us because it begins a period of mourning that is known as the 3 weeks. In the Parsha, we find that Bilam is approached by Balak, the king of Moab, who asks him to come and to curse the Jews. Rashi, at the beginning of the Sedra, even makes mention of the fact that Bilam from Midian and Balak from Moab were arch enemies. Why are they getting together? Oh, when it comes to attacking Klal Yisrael, people end up making peace, even though they're sworn enemies. Time goes on, and some things just never seem to change. But Balak comes to Bilam and tells him, I want you to come and I want you to curse the Jewish people, because I know whoever you curse is cursed. So Bilam says, I really can't do anything unless God gives me permission. And so he tells Balak, wait overnight, and I'll ask for permission. And sure enough, Bilam goes and asks for permission. And in Perek Chav Beis Pasuk Yud Beis, Hashem says to him, Lo telech imahem, you're not to go with them. Lo ta'oret ha'esa'am, you're not going to curse the nation, kivaruchu, because it's a blessed nation. So you can't curse them. So Bilam comes back to Balak, and he tells him, God said I can't go, nothing I can do. So they said, well, we'll give you much more, we'll enhance the offering and so on. So Bilam says, okay, I'll ask once more. So when he goes back and asks again, God says to him in Perek Chav Beis Pasuk Chav, Vayovo Elokim el Bilam Laila, God comes to Bilam at night, Vayomer lo, and he says, Im likro lecha bo'an Hashem, if the people call to you, kum leich itam. Go ahead, go itam, go with them. Sure enough, the next morning, Bilam gets up and he saddles his asono, his donkey, vayelech im sorei Moab, and he went with the leaders of Moab. And the very next pasuk says, vayichar af Elokim ki holechu, and God got angry because he was going. So the Vilna Gaon asks, at first you told him not to go, and then he begged and asked, let me go, and you said he could go. And then when he does go, you got angry at him? Why did you get angry at him? You told him he could go. So the Vilna Gaon says, yes, there's a tremendous difference. When God at first told Bilam, you can't go, he said, Lo telech imahem. You can't go imahem, im, with them. When Bilam asks again, please let me go, Hashem says, kum lech itam. Go, es them. Go along with them. But when Bilam got up the next morning to go, it says that vayelech im sorei Moab. He went im. He was told you can go es, but he went im. And originally God said lo selech imahem. There's a tremendous difference between es and im. Es means I'm accompanying you, says the Vilna Gaon, but I'm not with you. And isn't it interesting that Rashi makes mention when Bilam says, Vayelech Im Sarei Moav, Rashi says, Libo kilibam shave. Their hearts were the same for the purpose of destroying the Jewish people. So, there's a difference between Im and Es. Im is when you're together with them. Es, you're just accompanying, you have no choice, you're going along, you're not together with them. Bilam himself said about the Jewish people, Hen am levadad yishkon. This is a nation that lives alone. The truth is that our Jewish people, we live amongst the nations. We live in a very complex society, and we're part of that society. And yet, even though we're part of it, we're not in that society. Perhaps when Bilam is blessing the Jews and he said, Hen levadad yishkon, behold this nation that dwells alone, he meant not that we're not part of society. We certainly are. But there's a certain part of us that is not im. Maybe es, but not im. Bilam went im. In the problems that the Jewish people are facing in the world at large, we know that Hen levadad yishkon, this nation is going to stand alone. There's no one else who's with us, im us. There may be nations that go es with us. They go along and they respect the democracy, they respect the freedoms, but somehow we get the feeling it's not im. On this fast day, we're fasting because we're alone. We're alone and we've been alone, and perhaps the fast day is giving us an opportunity to think, what could we alone do to help make the world a better place? What could we alone do to introspect? Maybe the fact that we are an am levadad yishkon, a nation that lives alone, maybe what we need to do is become more of that am, more of that im, more of that ayin mem, all one unit. If we could join together and be one unit, if we could respect our fellow man, if we could join together as Klal Yisrael and not be part of the society at large in the sense of im, but only im with an Am Yisrael, maybe all the blessings that Bilam gave the Jewish people will ultimately come true. And just as he predicted at the end of the Sedja that the Jewish people are going to be victorious, we will see that happen speedily in our time. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
שם ישבנו גם בכינו בזוכרנו את ציון על ערבים בתוכה תמינו כנורותינו כי שם שלונו שובנו דברי שיר ותוללנו שמחה שיר לנו משיר ציון איך נשיר את שיר השם על אדמת נחל